Welcome everybody. I'm sure people will continue to filter in, but we're going to get started. I'm Peter. I'm one of the co-founders of Daniel House Club, and ordinarily we have our VP of Sales, Robert, lead this call. But as I said, he is he still in France? Where is he now?
He texted me a few hours ago from an airport in Croatia to say hello to everybody, and he wished he could be here.
Okay, well, yes, it's nice that he's missing us. So anyway, instead, Phil will be leading this call and helping you all learn how to use Daniel House Club to the sort of the most efficient and best use possible. And then I also want to introduce Renee and Gina and Madeline and Adrian, who are all on the call and all part of the concierge team. So maybe you've already interacted with them before, or this could be the first time you've seen their beautiful faces, but we're happy that they're here and they're always available to answer any of your questions. And then lastly, at 9:30, we're going to be joined by Gabrielle from One for Victory. One for Victory is one of our favorite upholstery vendors. They're based out of Southern California and really specialize, I think, in really very high quality leather goods. So, but maybe Gabrielle will set me straight and tell me, no, that's not their specialty, but we love their product, and I'm excited to learn more about them. So I will let Phil get started.
Alrighty. Courtney, I see your hand is raised. Did you have a question?
No, I'm sorry that I clicked the wrong thing.
We see you. Well,
hey, sorry.
Not a problem. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so can everybody see my screen? If anybody throughout the course of my discussion here has a question, you can either type it in the chat or unmute your mic and just ask it out loud, and we'll answer as we go along. When you log into the website, you'll see your name here. So in my case, hello Philip. As long as you're logged in, you'll be able to see your member pricing. If you're not logged in, you're only going to see either MSRP or MAP. That's just a heads up on that. I'm going to go through some of the basic structure of this dashboard page and then drill into a product page and just highlight some of the features there and see where we go. So once you log in, it will redirect you to what we call the dashboard page, this general landing page. And anything pretty much that I'm going to go over today, if you don't catch it, we're recording the call. It will be next week, I would say sometime early next week, archived in our club bulletin page, where a lot of our Concierge Hour recordings are warehoused or archived. Also, if you click on this drop-down list here, this is a great primer with videos and instructions on how to use the website. I just want to let you know that. So on the dashboard page, we have this left-hand navigation where you've got your project listed. I'm going to loop back to this project feature right here to go over projects and boards in more detail in a second, but just kind of cruise down the rest of these items here. If you click on account, you'll be able to see, the sub navigation here kind of matches what is offered on this page here. You can click into your order history. So anything that you've placed an order yourself through Daniel House Club will be listed here, and you can click into it. So these are all the items or the orders I placed myself for myself and customers. If you can view any addresses that you've got saved for, like, these are a few customers, this is mine. If you wanted to upgrade your account, you can click on upgrade. Now, if you've never upgraded your account from the free pro level before, the naming will be upgrade my account, and you'll just need to select which level you want to go to, and you'll have to have a credit card handy. If you've already upgraded to a paid account, I think the phrasing will be manage your account. There's just a small difference. Under the help section here, you can start a claim. Let's say something arrives and it arrives damaged, or 3 out of 4 chairs arrive and you don't know where that 4th one is, or something looks slightly different than what you expected. You would just go to the start a claim page, which also I should mention is conveniently located up here at the top level navigation. You would just need, it's a fairly quick form. You need your personal information, the order number, the item, the issue at hand, and your desired resolution. Now with the drop down here with Google Meet, you can't see this, but your options are repair, replacement, return or refund, an exchange, or a discount to keep as is. It's this little section right here that you're not able to see. And also, every vendor requires photos. So any photos that you can provide and attach to the form will be very helpful to expedite the claim. And then once you submit this, it'll go to us in Concierge Services. We'll send you an acknowledgement email back, and we issue or assign the new claim to one of our claim members. We have a whole department that's dedicated to handling the issues. If I go back here, we've got FAQs here, super helpful with quick videos Alex and Peter have recorded over the years. How-to videos takes you to our YouTube page with an ever-growing collection of videos. Stacy, if a client's purchasing directly, is there a number they can call if there's an issue rather than finding the form? Sure. So if you want to have your customer manage the claim themselves, there's a few things you can do. One thing you can do is direct them to the website and go to the bottom, or as I call it, the footer menu of any page. There's a start a claim link here too. So you don't have to be logged in necessarily. If you want your client to manage their own claim, they can click on that link and they can still get to this form. Or as Renee said in the chat, you can also have them call in and then we can start the claim for them, or give them, I should say, instructions on how to claim, or how to start the claim, but we'll instruct them that they need to send some photos too. I hope that helps. Going back here, I also wanted to call out the contact us page, which is also available on every footer menu on every page. This tells you what our email address is. If you email concierge at Daniel House Club, you'll get any one of my coworkers, Renee, Darren, Madeline, Gina, or myself, and Robert, who pops in every once in a while. Our phone number is 971-333-3133. Currently, we operate East Coast hours of 9 to 6 p.m., I believe, with the addition of Darren to our team who lives in California. I think we're expanding to West Coast hours fairly soon to accommodate our West Coast members. There's also a form you can submit here. And then also, if you want to, you can chat in anytime during business hours and we'll assist you live via chat. Going back to this dashboard page, there's one other way that I wanted to bring to your attention that you can get in touch with us. So you can call, like I said, you can email, you can chat. Sometimes it's just better for you. It might be more efficient to do what we're doing right now, which is a video call and then share a screen. We can click through a process if you're having a question about how to check out or how to look at a product. You can click meet with a concierge and it'll take you to our group scheduler. And then you can just select a day and time that works for you and then get booked for a Google Meet just like this. And then we'll connect with you that way. Just looking. Yes, West Coast hours coming soon. I'm going to move back up to this top level navigation here, this drop down. So one of the things I want to point out is the request a product page. Just so you know, in case it's not already known to you, any item that is available from one of our partnering vendors' current collections, we can make available. So we don't necessarily have every product from a company listed on the website at all times. So if you see something, a different fabric or a different metal finish that you are interested in having added to the website, you can just go to this page and fill out this quick form. You can paste in 1, 5, 10 different product links right there in this field and then send it to us. We'll acknowledge the receipt of your request. And then in a day or so, you'll be getting an email from our catalogs team with the link or links for those products. Let me go back. Okay, so I'm going to circle back around to the project and board feature right here now. Projects I would call sort of a framework for your collection. If you're working on a project and you want to start to gather items and you want to structure it in a way that you stay organized and I click in here, you would just create a project, give it a name, and then within that project, you can create one-to-many boards. And then you can start collecting items as you're brainstorming for the project. You can split it up however you see fit, by room, by product type, what have you. This is an example of a sourcing that I did for a customer a few months ago, where they gave us a project schedule and an item schedule, and I just went and searched for different things for their kitchen, for their office, for their dining room. As you set up a board, you may want to share no discount as you're setting it up. You may want to share part of your discount or whatever percentage you feel is appropriate. Whatever you do, whatever you set this up here at this moment, if I update the project, you will start to see discounts applied to the products. And once you've gathered items into a board, we actually have a collaborative feature where you can share your board. You can share a board with your customer, showing prices or not showing prices. I tend to suggest people that they don't share with prices at this stage, because you never know where you're going to land in terms of pricing out the project in the end once you have culled down your products to exactly what you're going to plan to buy. So I'm going to click into this pop-up here. So if you wanted to share a board out with your customer, you would just add their email address. And then you can leave these blank because we do have sort of boilerplate subject and message for them. And again, you can choose right here to share with or without product or product prices, and then click send. And then the board in this grid format will be sent to them. And they can click through and see the product photos, the details, the materials, the dimensions, everything that's pertinent to them to help them make a decision. The other thing you can do is if you don't want to send this cart feature here, or the board feature, excuse me, you can click the copy link, and that'll copy the board link to your clipboard. And you can go to your own email and then paste that in with a larger email that you want to send to them. So there's two ways you can do it. You can share the link in your own email, or you can share the board through our system.
Hey, Phil.
Yes.
Quick question in the chat. I don't know if you have this handy, but are you able to share what the user would see after they send this to them?
Yeah, I don't have an actual sent board handy right now, but they will see it essentially looking like this. Other than if you've hidden the prices, this would go away. And so what they'll be able to do is click into any product that's listed in the board, and they won't see anything. They won't see member pricing. So they'll just see MSRP and or MAP, depending on what's listed for that vendor. But they'll be able to see any additional photos, of which this product doesn't have additional photos. But they'll be able to expand and contract all the details. So they'll be able to see what the sizes are, the weights. This is an important thing I want to call out. I think this is, since I'm in the product page right now, it's as good a time as any. As a member, you're going to want to be cognizant of what the return policy is for any item. So since we don't warehouse anything and we don't ship anything ourselves, we drop ship everything directly from the vendor, we're, for lack of a better term, beholden to what the vendor's return policy is. Most people will take things back. Some, for instance, Noir, they will not take anything back. It's something you're going to want to pay attention to as you're suggesting items, and just so you know what to expect if something happens. If somebody receives it and go, you know, I don't like it in person, we're not able to take things back if the vendor has this no remorse return policy. So it's just good to know. While I'm on the product page, I'll also, in addition to just talking about all the details that are available, you can, if you just, you know that you just have this one item to purchase, you can add it to your cart, and then just the local cart, I should say, and then run through the checkout process really quick. Or if you're in a collaborative phase or the brainstorming phase, and you wanted to add this to one of your project boards for later reference, you would simply click add to board. And you can see right here, I've already added it to this one project's kitchen board. But if you wanted to add it to another one, let's add it to this one. And I don't know why I'd want a counter stool in my bedroom, but let's go for it. So add it here. And one little pro tip I like to mention is, let's say, you usually don't ever only need to purchase one counter stool. So let's say you need 5 for your kitchen. So when you click add to board, whatever number that you adjust in the add to cart button and you add it to your board, it will recognize that number. So you don't have to go back to the board and then click, change the quantities in the board later. And then also pay attention to what the stock level is. For most in-stock furniture items, we give an estimated arrival time, and we speak in terms of arrival as opposed to ship date. So we give you a 3 to 5 week time frame for most furniture items that are in stock with the vendor and ready to ship. Smaller things that go ground, like FedEx or UPS, we generally say that's 1 or 2 weeks, but you'll get a more specific ship date once you place the order and the vendor has confirmed the order back to us, and then we send out an order confirmation with an estimated ship date range. All right, so one other thing I'm going to go through is once you're done, let me get this drop down menu out of the way. Once you've shared all your items with your customer, you figured out what items you want to purchase, and you're ready to make your purchase, you have 3 different ways to check out within your board. Again, there's the local cart here for quick one-off items, but for larger orders, we and the concierge service team, we always advocate and recommend using the board checkout feature. So you've got 3 avenues to go down. If you're set up to purchase everything and bill your customer yourself outside of the DHC universe, you would check out with your card here on this first option. You would choose from within a single project, you can choose one to many boards to group together and create a single checkout cart. So let me just create cart from here, from the kitchen board. And it's going to bring in everything from that board that you've got added to the board. You don't necessarily need to buy everything from that board. Let's say you're just down to 6 of these stools. You can change the quantity there, remove everything else. Removing items from a cart does not remove the items from your board. Those items will live in perpetuity in your board until you manually remove items from a board. So when you're checking out using your own card, you will always be charged your member price. So you will get your best pricing in this route. One thing I wanted to mention here is the side mark delivery note field. If you're sending something to a receiving warehouse, this is really handy, because let's say the receiving warehouse has only specific hours that you can drop things off. So you can put receiving hours, you could put side mark information, a phone number if an appointment is necessary for a particular receiving warehouse, or if this is going to a residence that maybe has a gated community and you need to give information to the carrier just to give them a heads up about what to expect about delivering in that scenario. Anything you place in this field will make its way to the carrier, so they're better informed on how to handle the delivery. This feature right here, I'm going to go over in a second. I'm going to skip past it for now. And then the next screen is to select your shipping. Now, this is really handy. I'll also give you a pro tip. If you're just in the quoting phase and you're just curious to know how much the shipping is going to be for one or several items, you can dummy up a cart like this and run through this page and then add whatever items you plan to purchase and get to the shipping page, and you can see what the curbside charge is going to be. You can see what the room of choice of package removal fee will be, and the white glove fee. And then if that's all you need at this point, you can back out of that for quoting purposes. Otherwise, you can select a level, preview the cart, and if everything looks good, you can continue to checkout, which is that familiar Shopify Shop Pay backend. If you get a gift card from us or a shopping credit, or if this is your first time attending this concierge hour, you'll be getting a $100 gift card from us in the next couple of days. You can redeem that right here in the gift card field. And I do believe you can what's called stack them. So if you have more than one, you can apply more than one to a single purchase. If there are items that, and this is just a helper feature that we have for you as a fail-safe, if you have items that have a no remorse return policy, we will warn you here with this little note here, just, you know, as a last step before you place your purchase, just so you know. Select your address. I wanted to go over this new feature right here called split shipment to multiple addresses. This was born out of a member request. We do listen to what our members have to say and take it seriously. And so we just rolled out this feature where, let's say you've got an order to place for multiple items and your project is in midstream with the renovation, but the dining table is on back order till December. So you know that you want everything but the dining table to go to the receiving warehouse, and you know by December you can take delivery of the table right at the home. So you would click this button here, run through the rest of your purchase. I would say select the primary address, the outlier address don't use for placing your purchase. Once the order is purchased, we will get a trigger, an alert on our back end saying that there's a request for a split ship, and we'll follow up with you in the next day or so to collect the details. So you don't even need to know the exact additional address at the time of placing the purchase. We'll get back to you and we'll collect all that information and make sure everything is addressed correctly for your order. And then you would just run through the rest of the purchase as normal. Select your shipping method, continue to payment, enter your credit card information, or I should call out, we do also accept ACH bank transfers for those who don't want to use a credit card. Once you place your order here, again, we don't collect that information right now. We will follow up with you with a payment link for you to enter your bank account information, and then we'll move forward with the order. Let's go back to that. Stacy, I think, did I address this? Regarding product descriptions, is there a way to add information about such things as dimensions? For example, not all upholstery lists overall depth and seat height, as well as insert materials, types of leather. So if you're seeing a lack of relevant information, I would say email or chat us, and we can always reach out directly to the vendor and get that information for you. I think that's primarily it. What am I missing?
I was deep in searching for an image for Kristen while you presented, so I might have missed one thing. But did you talk about how to do a custom, how to initiate a custom upholstery order or anything custom?
I did not. I'm still a little green on how to initiate a custom order. Renee.
Okay. Renee, yeah, or I can.
Are you available to speak to that?
So Phil, hover over furniture, and then go to custom furniture, or start a custom order, either way.
Let me see if I hit the right thing. Let's say it's Theodore Alexander.
There you go.
Yeah, so within that, you could pick any of the vendors that we offer that does custom, and then hit next and just wait an eternity. No, the forms here are preloaded so that you can initiate this way, but then a concierge is going to receive this. Don't order anything from EJ Victor because they are no longer. So we're working on getting this one down, but which is really.
And this says Wesley Hall.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd fill out any information that you know here, and then concierge is going to receive this, and they're going to get back to you with additional questions, and get your order placed. You can, we can coordinate getting your COM to the manufacturer that you choose, or you know, if you're purchasing something, say from Kravet, that's available on the site, you can purchase both pieces from us, and we get them connected. And then we do have a pretty fail-safe method of making sure that the piece arrives the way that you expect it to. We require the vendor to send us photos before it leaves their warehouse to make sure that, you know, something like a contrast welt that you specified isn't missing from the piece before it ships to you. Additionally, you don't have to use this form. You could just call Renee or Phil or whoever and say, I want to place this, help me please, which is probably what I would do because I fail at forms every time I try. So I just wanted to let you know that we are a good resource for that as well. And if you haven't placed a custom order with Daniel House Club, but you're thinking about it, you can reach out to Concierge. And if it is your first one, you'll get 15% off that order if you initiate it through a Concierge. So that, I think that was all that I sort of missed, but I'll let others step in with questions. Do all manufacturers accept COM? Any that are in that form dropdown would, for like a four hands would not.
Right.
There's a number of them that do, and you can see those in the form dropdown. We are working on introducing later this year a separate section of the website that shows everything that's customizable in a more, I don't know, together called out way than is currently present. So I would say that's going to be out around December or early January.
All right, thank you. I think that's it for me. Oh, I do want to say one other thing that recently, a few months ago, we introduced Canadian pricing. So for our Canadian members, if you're in Canada, the site should be intelligent enough to have location awareness and should automatically set you to Canadian pricing, so you see things in CAD. If you're in if you do for whatever reason want to see the other country's pricing, you can manually force the site to flip. And so now at this point, you'll see everything in this instance in Canadian dollars. So just wanted to point that out as well.
Cool. And then actually I have one last question before I introduce Gabrielle. You talked about custom line item billing?
I was going to, and then I never got back around to it. So real quick, I go into a project. Click checkout. This is more useful if you're checking out and sending this to your customer. So I'll just select any old board. We this year introduced this feature here that if you wanted to collect payment on either your time, your services, or something offsite from DHC, let's say you bought something vintage and you wanted to collect payment through this cart, you can add an item or a service right through this form. And you would just want to make sure that you had the 2.75% processing fee covered, which if you roll your mouse over this little tooltip, it gives you a quick math calculation on how to make sure you arrive at the number you want to charge your customer, so that when you get paid from us as a commission, that you're clear with what you need to get back, and also cover the cost of the processing fee. That's just a pass-through cost from us. It's not anything we're charging other than to cover the bank cost.
Yeah, so this is just a super helpful tool if you would like to keep your billing all in a single place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll have more time for more questions directed at both Phil and our guests after their presentation. And if it does, for any reason, run over, everybody from Daniel House Club can stay a little bit long, or I shouldn't speak for everyone. Some of us can certainly stay long to answer your questions. So with that, I would like to introduce Gabrielle and John from One for Victory. And apart from making beautiful furniture, they also have one of the coolest, I don't know if you call it a booth anymore, locations at High Point. It's wonderful to visit them, and always look forward to learning what foods John is most interested in at the time.
Oh no.
So thank you guys both for being here, and I'll let you speak now.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
And
Okay, good.
I
Hi,
think
I'm Gabrielle. Oh, sorry, Peter.
1 second. I think we're running your slides, right? So you just
are, yes.
went? Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
I'll pull it up, and Gabrielle and John, just let me know if I'm scrolling too fast or too slow for you guys.
Okay, fantastic. And thanks for handling that. I'm Gabrielle. This is my partner in life and business, John. Pretty good.
Yes.
We are the team behind One for Victory. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Daniel House, for having us. What we'd like to do today is just give you an overview about what we do and drill into some more specific topics. And then really just let you ask us any questions that you have about upholstery or about any of the details
Don't ignore Scout.
that might be relevant. I won't ignore him. That might be relevant. John would like me to highlight that Scout, our mascot, is featured here in the photo, and he might be featured in the call if he
Misbehaves.
barks or cries. So
He is our factory dog, so he holds it down.
yes, so our
He never
apologies.
comes to market though. Why is that?
Doesn't. I think it's just a really big trip
Okay.
for him to make, and then
He also sheds about a pound of fur an hour.
that's true. The shedding is a lot. He's grown a bit since that photo, so he can be
He's huge.
a little bit overzealous with his greetings. So hopefully one day we've talked about it, so we'd love to bring them out. But here we are, and here's a little bit about us. I am third generation in the upholstered furniture world. My grandfather started a company in 1959 called Elite Upholstery, which then became Elite Leather. And John and I both ended up working there completely unplanned for both of us. I wasn't really raised to go into the industry. I was more raised to kind of follow my own path and see where it leads. And it led here to furniture still. So in 2017, after my dad sold Elite Leather, John and I launched One for Victory. I think that you probably can relate that this is a very tough industry to leave once you've been a part of it. There are just so many really wonderful people and friends that we've made through the years, and relationships are really important to us. And we decided we still wanted to stay in the industry. So we have this special order upholstery line, and it's definitely more clean, modern, without being too specifically modern in any one kind of aesthetic, definitely classically influenced. We are based in California, and that does inform a lot of, I think, how we perceive things and kind of how we approach the business. I think more in a spirit rather than always in a way of the design. So we're absolutely not limited to selling this part of the country. We have so many customers all over the country that find pieces that are relevant to them.
Sometimes we get asked why One for Victory. What does that mean? It sounds like a karate dojo. A lot of weird interpretation. Some people visit us at market just because of the name. It comes from my childhood. I come from a larger family. There's 6 Grootegoed kids, and my dad would always. It was basically don't quit, keep pushing. So. One for victory. You never know when victory is going to happen, so just keep on pushing. And so that's the origin of the name, just a childhood family saying.
We'll kind of cover here, thanks, Kristen. And I kind of touched upon this a little bit, just as far as our aesthetic goes, and really just kind of focusing on clean lines and proportions. I think proportions are very important to us, and I think that being designers, you can relate to that as well in a way that consumers don't, that they kind of are learning more about what works for them. But we really think about design as far as also seat depths, arm heights, 1/4 inch, and the importance of the nuance of how things can be perceived when you really pay attention to those proportions.
On this slide, there's a chair on the middle of the 3 vertical images. That's a good example of a partnership and design that originates as a project I worked on with Icon 4x4, and it was for the Ford Bronco launch. And so that is modeled and designed after the back jumper seat of a vintage Ford Bronco. So we utilize the 1-inch tube steel, the same angle of pullback on the armrest, the vertical pleating in the back, but we made sure it didn't look like a truck seat that was just thrown on some taller legs. It's definitely an elevated design for something that's so minimalist and rugged, like a Bronco, vintage Bronco truck. So we have some fun with our designs.
We do. We're very nostalgic. I don't know how we both have that in common. So we do love to weave that type of, whether it be mid-century or deco or different influences into our pieces while still having them be very livable for today.
I wanted to call out on the topic of proportion. Like, it's so evident when you go into your showroom versus some others. I think sometimes there's like this perception that big equals comfortable, and like your stuff is so perfectly scaled, so it's very easy to put in a room, but it's still like I would say more comfortable than a lot of other things that are sold.
Nice.
Really comfortable. So
Thank you.
evident what you're after there.
Peter,
We
thank you.
appreciate that.
Many times I've been accused of being the man with the golden ass,
John.
because I know exactly when it's comfortable.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next slide now. Kristen, next slide, please. And just kind of in that same vein is really kind of playing into that attention to proportions is also attention to materials and why that's important. And I think that shopping for upholstery is really difficult because you don't know what's happening inside. And I think more and more there is a lack of sharing of that information from manufacturers. And so we want to share that. That's very important to us because it really serves the longevity of the piece. And so we do take everything into account. We like to use a sinuous spring in the back and in the seat suspension. We don't use A-way hand tie. A lot of our designs don't allow for a coil because of the height that a coil requires. A lot of our, front rails are more thin. And so we use a sinuous spring, but we love a spring in the seat in the back, and it gives a lot of support to the seating. And it's also really important because the more work that the spring does, the less stress that is put on the foam core and in, say, the fiber in the back. So your piece is going to look newer, longer when the cushions and back pillows have that support of really great suspension. So that's something to keep in mind when you shop any upholstery. From there, we really focus on the quality of the wood and the chain of custody. So FSC certified wood is important to us. And then really just using very resilient foam cores, blown fiber in the back. And we have a down and feather option as well in the seats and backs.
And Trillium.
And the Trillium as well, the down alternative. And then even things that are not ever talked about that you should look for, we'll highlight a little bit further on down in the presentation, but really different aspects that help the tailoring of the piece, whether it be padding the outside of the frame and just really keeping the upholstery material really well supported. We are made in Los Angeles, and we really are so excited to be able to manufacture locally. It's something that's been really important to us as far as our One for Victory years, but really in our career. And we're really proud of our team that we have there and how hard they work and their attention to detail as well. And we welcome visitors and we give tours. Robert has been, which was really fun. So please come and have a tour and really just see the people behind the product.
Yes, we've been very jealous of Robert.
Yeah.
Who is, I think, devastated not to be here. Not that devastated. He's like in Croatia or something.
Oh, he is. Yeah, I think that sounds way more fun for sure. Something that we want to touch upon, and I think that it's great that in your call earlier that you kind of touched upon the customization. This is something that we are looking to expand with Daniel House, and we need to definitely work on it more together. But we have great special order capabilities. And so you really have the breadth of opportunity from 150 fabrics to 100 leathers. We also do accept COMs. So this is something that we can talk more about as things evolve, and you'll be able to see those options on our site as well. And then you'll be able to source those through Daniel House. And a lot of our pieces have many different sectional options as well. So you might see something and it's only a chair, but you can get it as a sectional. And we continue to evolve as far as our offering goes there. And you can see different finishes and seating options.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Great job.
This is what I had alluded to earlier, just kind of touching upon.
It's a lot of.
We're not gonna read this. This can live in, in the video later if you really want to drill into it. But
it's super helpful.
But it is important. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about how I find that it is really tough to buy upholstery, and I just really want to make sure that we can touch upon the things that can help you shop our line or can help you shop other lines as well.
Yeah, I took a call this morning from a salesperson that wanted to understand why there's a price difference between our line and a more promotional line. And then fortunately I was familiar with the other line, and they don't spring their backs. They have a different standard of frame. They only have like 3 options in leather, and that's all they got. And they don't have the SKUs, and you start drilling into it, and that's what this page really offers. Like it may be 2 arms and 3 seats, but there's so much distinction in how different companies manufacture, and so understanding their standards and capability is important to turn something into a value rather than an expense.
Absolutely.
So I have a question. If a manufacturer is not using 8-way hand tie or a sinuous spring, what are you finding in the back?
So on the really entry level, you'll have chipboard. That is like that's like IKEA level. It'll just be a board. Slightly better, you'll see discard remnants fabric that they'll cut into strips and just put all the way across it. I saw slightly above that. I've seen 1-inch Pirelli zigzagged up and down the back, inside back. And I only bring up those because that's the most distinction. And Gabrielle's point, when you have proper suspension, it leads to the longevity of the piece. It just looks better longer. It sits more consistently. So that chipboard, you're inevitably going to get some warping on it, and you'll sit down, you'll hear like a pop. If you have remnant fabric or really back suspension by name only, like the zigzag Pirelli webbing. It wasn't even Pirelli, elastic webbing. What you'll get is the back pillow will start to get swallowed into the cavity of the frame. So yeah, when you actually put a proper lighter gauge space, 8 inches off center, wider than the seating area, because it doesn't need to support the weight of the body. What you'll get is that piece it won't cave in, it won't pop. You'll sit and you'll feel almost like it has a little bit of a ride to it. And that will be consistent. We don't manufacture for obsolescence, so that will be consistent for 20 years. And
we've even seen that this
I know
week.
this firsthand.
So I mentioned that we work for my dad at our family business, Elite Leather, and we get people, even as recently as this week, reaching out to us saying, my furniture is still amazing. I bought it 15 years ago. Can you help me with some replacement foam cores?
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's such a testament to.
Also a bit of a hassle. Because some of these styles we don't make, so we have to dig in Elite's archives to find patterns to support it.
I think it's so cool because it's a way to show us that how we're doing things does have that longevity into the future. And I love it. I love telling my dad that as well. I think it makes him really proud. And we're so happy that people just have these pieces and they still love them.
Yeah.
And so we do manufacture for serviceability. So something else to look for when you shop for upholstery is, you can stay here, Kristen, really quickly, sorry. Everything where you see the word zippers, all of our cushions and back pillows, any arm pillows, everything has a zipper and everything is removable. And so you can replace the cores years into the future. You can add more fiber to the backs. So there is a lot of ability there to be able to continue to restore your pieces. So that's really important there. Something else that I look for when gauging quality of upholstery are the outside panels, kind of what I had mentioned. You'll see some pieces that if you kind of put your hand on the back, outside back of a sofa, you can see like the fabric or the leather moves with you. And so what we do is we add a chipboard, not for suspension, just for support on the outside. So there's no open cavities on the frame. Everything is fully encased, and then we put a foam over that. And so if you were to put your hand, the fabric or leather is very much supported there. We tend to push our furniture around, right? Like with our knees or with our hands in a way that is kind of forceful. And there is a lot of resiliency there where you can do that with our pieces because there is a lot of support. So those are kind of the things that I would call out that might be a little bit different that you can kind of think about as you shop.
Yeah, when you hit the outside arm of our piece, it's like slamming the door on a vintage Mercedes. It's solid, solid. Where other, yeah.
Your analogies. That's a good one though.
Thanks.
That is good.
Yeah.
We have two quick things in the chat. One is from Darren on our team who says, I really want to come visit you guys. So
Okay. Amazing.
But the other is from Stacy. Do you have warranties on frames and or inserts?
We do.
Okay.
We do. So we have a 5-year warranty on our frame. And I want to kind of touch upon why we don't say lifetime. And
Okay.
do you want me to say lifetime?
No. You can go.
But
This is why we weren't going to do this.
we weren't going to do
together.
this call because together, but I feel like, we're both one for victory. So I think that lifetime can be confusing, and we really want people to understand what they're purchasing and to understand what that warranty means. And we have found through the years that people think that lifetime means their lifetime, and it does not. It means the lifetime of the product, but there's no like definitive span of time for the lifetime of the product. And so
The states.
I haven't been able to really find it. And what if it's state by state?
It's 5
Yeah.
to 7
So
years.
I think that we feel very comfortable to up the number of years from 5. But I like defining that because I think it really helps you when you shop to understand what you're getting.
Yeah.
The foam cores, they have a warranty from certain things. So there's a warranty from flattening, pancaking, concaving, but there's not a warranty against just softness through use, which happens. We plan for it to happen so that we don't deliver something really soft out the gate. We want it to have some support to begin with so that it kind of just wears in over time.
Yeah, foam is going to soften with use as the cells open up on the foam. I think the biggest part is we stand behind our product, and at the end of the day, that's you can put whatever label you want on a warranty. Like we have serviced our product that's well outside of warranty. We if we can help, even if it's outside the warranty and it has nothing to do with us, we'll help. We're furniture people, so we have a real passion for it. And yeah, this is who we are. So yeah, I think
Awesome.
yeah, we'll stand by it.
I am becoming cognizant that I do this to presenters all the time. I ask too many questions, and
No.
you don't get to the remaining 9 slides in 5 minutes.
Okay,
So
well,
we got-
I can talk quickly. So you,
No, I'll do the talking for now on. Sofas, next slide.
Kristen, you could just kind of scroll. These are just kind of examples of some of our pieces. So you can just scroll through like the next 4 pages of product. This was more just to give just like a quick overview about the
Yeah.
product.
Are you guys making new intros every market, or what? Just as you feel, led to make something new?
We typically work to have something new every high point, and then also some things do come up in between for sure.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to touch upon that I was hoping could be helpful to the designers here is just talking a little bit about leather, because I feel like leather is such an unknown for a lot of people, and there isn't as much experience with it, and there seems to be maybe too much nuance to it. And so I just kind of want to touch upon leather really quickly and just kind of reflect on that. It is the original performance material. We talk so much about performance fabrics. We carry many fantastic performance fabrics, but we really think that leather can be highlighted as far as the beauty and the depth that it offers into interiors. And there are a lot of concerns, I think, about how leather can behave as far as scratching, as far as developing that patina, as far as having dial-out variation. And we would want you to look at leather like you would like a natural stone or unlacquered brass as far as it develops over time. And it's a really great option for a customer who does want that low maintenance opportunity without kind of compromising on having that depth and contrast in a space. Yes, living finishes. Thanks, Stacy. We can go to the next one. I'll go really quickly. And so here, and you can always kind of come back to this later, but just really highlighting why leather is so fantastic design-wise and also functionally, and how it is really durable.
Yeah, it's much more durable than any fabric. Also, in comparison to a vegan leather, or what I like to call vinyl, it is it's just it's just a superior product. It actually, where fabrics will just kind of get old, leather will really blossom as it's in the home longer. You have to, there's some maintenance involved, but it'll be more beautiful 10 years from now than it was today. And that's something really unique in upholstery.
And I think too, it's so much more widely appreciated than it ever has been. I think that vintage kind of brown leather sofa that you see shopped so often on First Dibs, whether it be like a Danish or an old Italian piece. But I think that there's so much more interest in it, and that there's still a lot of education that can be shared. And it's also a topic that is very, very wide as far as like the direction that you can go in when you talk about it. So here we're just trying to keep it narrow, but if I'm fact checked in any way in the future, this is not very extreme comprehensive.
That's my job.
You're going to fact check me?
I will.
Okay, we'll review this later. So this is something that you can kind of come back to later. And kind of just touch upon that if you're using leather in your design, and if you would like something that has softness and durability and consistent sea of color and grain, kind of what to look for. You would look for a semi-aniline or a pigmented leather, something that has light surface protection, something that has some kind of opaque pigmentation that really keeps that color very consistent and very easy to clean. But if you're looking for something that has more depth to it, then you would go to a full aniline leather, which could encompass with a pull-up leather, which would have oil and waxes infused in it. And then we also love a nubuck. I think nubucks are kind of like the great crossover leather because they have like that fabric kind of.
Nubuck is just a top grain suede. It's above the top grain.
Yes, but suede is not the top grain of a hide. It's another layer, and we only use top grain leathers.
Sometimes I'll get asked, what's your best leather? And the best leather is totally based on the application needed on the customer.
Totally.
Big family, lots of pets, that's going to be much different than, a retiree's vacation home. It's just the best leathers really the consumers need.
Absolutely. And that this slide kind of touches upon that a little bit. And then this is our last slide. And what we just kind of wanted to show you here, here's an example of our leather label. So kind of going back to that, wanting to share as much information as possible for you when you shop our line, you would see the different characteristics listed on the swatch. And so if something does scratch, we tell you that it scratches so that you don't have any surprises. Your customer is not concerned upon delivery. So a semi-aniline is what we touched upon as far as something that has protection. It's very easy to wipe clean. It's still very soft, but you'll see less natural characteristics and the color will be more consistent and it won't patina in the same way. And then we have the full aniline, which is a leather that has really a transparent dye versus an opaque dye. And that transparent dye really allows you to see into the hide, the natural characteristics. And so you will have some shading of color due to the transparency, but the depth of color is incredible. The colors are so beautiful. And the full aniline is what you would see on, say, one of those vintage leather pieces. It's really very worn in many, many years, in the future, and it kind of has that depth.
I'm going to partially fact check you right now.
Thanks.
It's just partially. Well, what Gabrielle is saying is generally accurate. There's nuance in leather. So, familiarity with the article that you're selling or inquiring to get more information on the article that you're offering is really advised, because every pattern has its own kind of performance and and variation. And if you're not familiar, like this gives you really good general information, our labels, but I talk leather all day. So you want to drill into that.
Right. But I do think that this can carry you far to where you don't have to feel afraid to show it
Yeah,
to your clients.
I'm just saying there's no.
For sure.
You know, whenever my brother Alex and I present together, he fact checks me via text, and then I don't even realize it's happened until after we're done.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Live fact checking is great.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's for the betterment of the presentation.
I mean, you didn't say anything wrong. I'm just saying
There is nuance for
yeah,
sure.
there's nuance.
But please, if you have any questions, I know we're maybe a few minutes over. This is just our view of our social and then kind of where you can find us. And then for product and order inquiries, we're at Daniel House and we're very excited to be featured on your company. So thank you, Peter.
Thank you guys. And yeah, your social is always so beautiful. So definitely check that out. I do have 2 final questions. I know we're over, so if people have to go, goodbye. No, but thanks for being here. One question is, do you have any swivel or motion? I think the answer is no, but
We have swivel.
you do have swivel.
We have swivel. Our Eclipse chair swivels, our puppy chair swivels. So we do have, let's see, we don't have them pictured here on this page, but we do have swivel, yes.
Okay.
And we're going to continue to develop that because swivel is so important. Everybody wants.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah, no stage, but we don't offer motion right now.
Right now, we are working on just a basic 3-stage pushback recliner for certain styles,
Yes.
just to round out the product offering.
Cool. And then the other, I think maybe pretty important question. Somebody says they're trying to make sure that they put you on their schedule for High Point Market, but they cannot find you in the exhibitor
Yes.
list.
We're actually taking a little break from High Point this market.
Okay. All right. Well,
We need more space. Even
Yeah,
though we love our space so much, we need more. So we are working on getting a new location. But by the time that we decided that, there just wasn't a spot where we wanted it. So we have to wait until April.
all right. Well, we'll miss you this market, and
We'll see you. We will be around. I think we should probably just plan a meetup.
yeah, that would
We
be.
can't miss High Point. We love going to High Point. It's that chance to see all of our industry friends.
It's the only time I can have pimento cheese. So
Cheers.
the most important part.
Priorities, right?
Yeah, totally. Thank you both. This has been super fun. And it's
you.
also like really nice to learn stuff about how things are made.
Good.
So thank you. If anybody does have any more questions regarding Daniel House Club, please do feel free to ask. We can stay on a couple of more minutes, but feel free to leave. And then, like I said, or I think we said, this will be posted to our club bulletin probably Monday or Tuesday of next week if you want to refer back to it. And then the last thing is our next Concierge Hour will be right after High Point Market, and we'll be joined by Robin White, who is a website and SEO consultant just for interior designers, and she is going to do an audit of a couple of web pages, and I'm told she's very nice when she audits, but that could be pretty fun. So we'll see you then.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time and
Thank
for
you.
listening to our presentation. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for both of you coming. So we'll see you again soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.